Hello world, this is Random Fix, and this afternoon I went to go start that vehicle right there to go pick up my son from school, and it had been sitting there for a few days. I haven't got a chance to actually drive it, and the birds have had their way with the car. So anyway, went to the vehicle here. I was supposed to pick up my other son in a few minutes. I went to go start the car and nothing. I put it in neutral, which I always do in case it's a neutral safety switch right here. Tried it again. Nothing. My lights are all LEDs, so when I try to crank the motor, you can't really tell. And the same thing with my headlights. My headlights are LEDs, so you can't really tell if it's the battery or maybe it's a starter issue. Sometimes you want to avoid doing is jump starting the vehicle, and maybe your starter is really on the way out and somehow or another it starts it and gets past the resistance on the starter solenoid. So what I always like to do before I go jump start a vehicle, just because I don't want it to happen to me the next day or the next morning, I want to go and check the actual battery. So it's going to show you guys something that I've been using for a little while. I didn't have it with me right then and there, but these are my jumper cables, and these jumper cables are super cool because they actually have a built-in voltmeter. I'm gonna hook these up now and show you guys this in use. So really cool. I think they cost a few dollars more than regular jumper cables, but you're gonna see the instant benefit of this right away. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the positive here, and then I'm gonna go and grab the negative here. I don't want to short out on the car, so that's the way I did it right now. So as you guys can see, I have 9.6 volts. So if you have less than, I think it's 10 or 10.2, I don't know the exact number right off the top of my head, your car will not start. So this definitely confirms that this is a battery issue just from the car sitting here and not a starter issue. And I can have confidence now that I'm not going to get stranded the next morning as long as I go ahead and take care of this particular issue, because I have this vehicle up for sale. This is the first time it really happened to me. I want to make sure that I'm selling a good car just because of karma and everything else. I'm going to go ahead and jump start this vehicle now, knowing that it is not a starter issue. And if you guys want to see something else, let's see what actually happens with any of the codes on the computer later in the video. So I'm going to hook this guy up right now. We're going to access the information here to see if our drive cycle data is still around, because here in California, in order to sell the car, the smog has to be taken care of by the seller. You definitely want to make sure that that is always given to the buyer. With that said, the actual key has to be in the ignition with the check engine light on for that to work. Let's go pull up the jumper vehicle, which is most likely going to be that Prius over there. We're going to jump in the Prius here. We're going to use the Prius to jump start the Camry. If your hood gets stuck, that's what you do. Give it a little tap and it allows you to get it loose. Works really good on Mercedes-Benz, BMWs, and all these cars. So pop up this hood here. Got the booster vehicle, and now I got the positive connected here. I'm going to go ahead and connect the positive on the Prius. And on the Prius, I know they really hit this around on here, and I think there's a place right in here, if I remember correctly. Jump port box right there. So we're going to go ahead and pull up that cover. And now we're going to go ahead and connect to some sort of ground here. And this may get a little tricky, so you want to be very careful. So that made a connection here. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and connect to the vehicle that has the low battery. The Prius is currently operating at 14.4, and now the voltage is going to slowly rise to 9.8. What you actually want to do is you want to wait a little bit and let this get up over 10 before you try to jump start the Camry here. This is definitely a weird situation because you have a hybrid motor here that's jump starting the Camry and the motor's not running. The battery on board is being converted to 12 volts, which is feeding through the jumper cable to the Camry here. And now we're still at 9.8, and we're gonna hang out for a few more minutes. All right, so it's been a few minutes. This is still reading at 9.8. on here, and it's pretty cool because it has an arrow to the discharge vehicle. I'll have a link to the description box below, as well as a complete video I did about this about 6 or 7 months ago. Let's go ahead and jump start the Camry now. Alright, we're in the car now. And nothing. We gotta wait. You want to wait a couple of minutes, and now we're at 13.7. You want to make sure you have a good ground connection on here. At first it wasn't climbing right away. I moved this around a little bit and the connection is a lot better. And let's go ahead and give this a try and see if we still have our drive cycle information. That was super weird. And now let's go ahead and check our drive cycle information. Alright, we got 0 codes found. Alright, so everything is off. So as we can see, we got our check engine lights off. And all the monitors are ready, and the ones that don't apply, don't apply. And whenever you're doing any sort of jump starting, just make sure you do everything in reverse order. So you want to be very, very careful. Take this off and leave it hanging like that, because that is live right there. You want to come over to the other vehicle, do the same thing here, and then carefully get this off. Go ahead and put the cover, make sure locks in place. Lastly, go ahead and get this off. And what you want to do with something like this is take the vehicle for a little bit of a drive, as well as put it on a battery tender overnight, so you don't have the same issue every single time. And if this happens more than 2 times, you could be guaranteed it's going to happen a 3rd time, because these batteries don't do well against going under 10 volts. It causes permanent damage, and that's the real benefit of an AGM battery or lithium or any kind of the wet cell batteries. Alright guys, I really hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, give it a thumbs up. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and smash on the subscribe button as well as the notification button, so anytime I post videos, you will definitely get notified. And Little Bear, you want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Have a good day, guys.